are obviously a sword, the hammer, the bow, the King of Burna, like we have already talked about. He can also give the King of Samaria the fire rod and 10 bombs, which is the more bare bones escape you can have.
I do like the 10 bombs one often, just because the strat there is so tricky, but so consistent if you can pull it off. Looks like half magic in that first chest.
And we have Green Pendant in Eastern. Meanwhile, we have the 6 crystal in Desert and a normal crystal on Hera. Half magic is very nice if they get a magic item like the Fire Hood.
Yeah, half magic makes the Cane of Burna start a lot more fun and a lot more tolerable to race with.
And yeah, just to come back to what you were saying earlier about the bombs escape, it's very fun to get it when you're confident in your strategy with the bombs. Because if your opponent isn't as confident as you, this can be an immediate time gain for you.
Yeah, it certainly can. So we're pausing Durand here just to let the two runners sync up. There we go. And Nimban, looks like you got your wish. It's a hammer.
Yeah, the best weapon in the game. Just had horrible range.
Horrible range that changes depending on the way you're facing. Hey, game's weird, man. So, if you've never seen a randomizer race before, first of all, I'm curious how you found this channel. But on the off chance that you've stumbled onto this, it's where we pick all the items in Link to the Past, shuffle them around, and drop them in an arrangement so that the game is still beatable, but you have no idea where you're going to have to go at the start of the game. Objective is still complete those 7 crystals, go defeat Ganon.
And of course, all the keys, the maps and compasses stay in their dungeon of origin. And we've got the flute here in the first chest of escape.
Well, that's a nice one to start with.
Yeah, so that means that as soon as they get into Kakariko village, they'll be able to activate the flute, and that will speed up their movement a lot.
Certainly makes things like that early Ice Rod cave check, that early Desert Palace ledge check, so much more feasible. Rather than spending a full minute, you're often just 20 seconds for checking it.
Also that mushroom check when you get one.
Yeah, that one too.
So so far, they're having great work with the hammer, defeating enemies like they're just a bunch of rats or something. Normally with the sword you have to hit them at least once or twice or even twice to kill them.
Yeah, that hammer really makes a difference on those blue guards. And even on the ball and chain guard, as we see from Elminster, only 2 hits as long as you can get past the weapon that's swinging. And Durand, yeah, it gets blocked a bit, but there we go.
It's hard to not get blocked by the ball and chain guards. Really props to both these runners for defeating him so swiftly.
So with an early hammer like that, are you hoping for some early Dark World access here?
Yeah, definitely. If you found the gloves and the Moon Pearl, then you have immediate Dark World access.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to see. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you can get to the Dark World Kakariko even before the Light World if you want to.
Oh, I'd love to see that happen.
And if you get the mirror, it's like, well, there's no time loss doing both at the same time.
Oh, and Elminster doubling back a bit here, taking out a couple of guards. I expect he's just realized, hang on, I may want some bombs for the back part of escape here.
Yep, exactly. They're gonna want bombs in just 1 or 2 minutes.
The hammer does make farming easy. I'm a bit surprised that neither runner has looked for bombs too intensely here.
Maybe they're wanting to wait until they get to the bunch of rats and hopes that are in the sewers.
Could be. And of course, there's always that chance that the chest right in the sewers will have 3 bombs for you.
Yeah, both of them are now farming, trying to farm bombs.
Oh, and not getting anything bomb-wise. Oh, there we are.
Yeah, alright. Both have got the 8 bomb top. So they're set for the rest of the sewers. And
That'll
Durand
get
also
them.
getting the 4.
That'll get them through sewers, that'll get them through the Kakariko checks initially. That's fantastic.
They already have more than enough bombs.
Elminster showing off, trying to use some bomb strats on that rat there instead of just hitting it with the hammer. Alright, and what's in the back of Escape? 50 rupees, a 10 bomb capacity upgrade, and a piece of heart.
There's nothing too great, but the 50 rupees is nice because they want to have 100 rupees by the time they get in Kakariko. Because of that bottle vendor, which has an item he sells for 100 rupees.
Yeah, and with 50 rupees guaranteed between the well and Blind's Hut, there's the other 50 rupees you need. That's no longer a concern here.
But you'll probably see them continue to try and farm rupees whenever they can, because eventually they're going to want to check what Zoha sells, and that costs 500 rupees.
Yeah, 500 for Zora, 100 for Kiki. All in total, you need about 800 rupees to full clear this game.
So the 3 pull there is just a bunch of 5 arrows. We have Elminster checking the Lumberjack Cave while Durand is going straight in the forest.
Yeah, that's a play we see a few runners doing now, where they say, I'm not going to check Lumberjack at the start. If I don't have boots, there's no point in me knowing what's there. And Durand picks up Bombos in the cave in the forest.
Well, that's one less medallion to worry about.
And 20 rupees in the mushroom spot. Durand is going to pass on that as he does his tree pull check, but Elminster wants those 20 bucks. Well, Durand's the first one to reach Kakariko Village. Would you say that's game over? He's irrevocably ahead in this race.
Oh yeah, of course.
And I can't even say that word. That's how far ahead he is.
Yeah, that's at least a 1 hour lead on Elminster right now. But more seriously, there's nothing set in stone until they're in go mode. Basically, there's nothing set in stone.
No, there isn't. Lead. Oh, that's a lot of rupees, like 440 so far in that basement.
Yeah, they got rich very quickly. And we have a bottle, which is very nice.
Fantastic early start for these runners.
So they don't have to worry about going back all the way in Kakariko just for that one sick kid check. They can show him they have a bottle right now and get whatever he's wanting to give out.
You know, it makes sense that all that money is down there. Blind used to be a thief after all.
And now the bite net in the well on the right side.
Heart container in the back. And more money. Jeez, almost Zora money already. Not even 10 minutes into this run.
Well, today Bottle Vendor is just selling some bombs. And we see Durand activate the flute right now, which is the best spot to activate it.
You know, that's a pretty bad price per bomb compared to the shop just a couple minutes south of here. Alright, so Durand checking on the chicken hut here. Gets dinged by his own bomb, but in the back he finds another green potion.
Wow. A very magic-oriented seed so far with a half magic and both green potions.
Yeah, unfortunately. Nothing aside from Bombos that even uses magic, and without the sword you can't even use Bombos.
Sick kid, probably an archer, giving away 10 of his arrows to the players. And Elminster is going to buy bombs while Durand finds the moon pearl, so we won't have to worry about that one.
You know, with the Moon Pearl, you can do that fake flipper glitch in the waterfall. I expect we'll see that pretty soon, as long as they can find any more rupees before getting to Zora area.
And there was a medallion in the library, but I don't know which one it was.
I can tell you it was either Quake or Ether. It was in fact Ether.
And we just have a piece of heart at the race game, so Durand and probably Elminster will be floating out of there.
Yeah, this is where that early flute starts paying off already. Instead of saving and quitting to 7, and walking down to 7, you just flute straight there and find more bombs in the dam. Man, Ether in the library. That's not a fun thing to see.
Yeah. I don't know when you get the boots. Well, if you get the boots, it's certainly something you want to get before going up that mountain or going to Meyer. But besides that, I'm not sure how much it will wait in their mind.
I think it'll really depend on, which dungeons require Ether to open them and when we see those boots. Could be that that's never required. Could be that it's actually locking the final dungeons of the game.
And what a nice bomb drop.
I like it when I spend 1 bomb and I get 8 bombs for the effort.
That's a good return of investment. Also, look at this money. And the hookshot.
More money, heart containers, and the hookshot. Mini Molderum Cave really works out for the runners today, as Elminster's bombing his way through it as well.
Like, Durand will be going twice hard cave, maybe couple down with a Zoha check by face flipping. Something that could also be interesting, I think, would be going up Death Mountain right now with the flute and the hookshot.
Yeah, that whole eastern area is open to you. And then you've got the hammer, so you can loop around back up. Dew Tower of Hera right now. It's only a pendant, though, and there's no guarantee you can finish it.
It looks like Elminster is going for that.
He
Just
is.
the old man's cave from the back. Which is the only thing right now in Death Mountain that is locked by the lamp.
So he's using his hookshot to figure out where he is. It's interesting, a lot of runners I see use hammer in the dark to spot where they are. It looks like he even got turned around a bit and had to exit the cave, but he'll make his way through it now.
Meanwhile, we saw what's on the Lake Hiley Island, and it's just an arrow upgrade. So Durand already knows. That's not interesting. An Ouch.
Ooh!
Now that's something that hurts a lot. When you're face flipping and you get hurt on a screen where you didn't start the face flippers, this is what happens, you just die instantly. This is
Yeah.
different from the vanilla game where you just soft lock, but the devs of Randomizer wanted to give some soft lock protection, so they just make you die immediately.
Yeah, I mean, the actual soft lock, it's really funny to see because the screen just keeps scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and Link does nothing. But I can see why you want to make sure that runners just die instead of getting locked and losing progress. Still not a fun time for Durand. And we do see Elminster return with that old man for 10 arrows.
And the man under the bridge only has a heart container for Durand.
That was the Sankheart though, wasn't it?
Maybe, yeah. Just like it.
Yeah, give him the full health refill, why not?
And we have the boots on Spectacle Rock.
Oh.
So that's going to be undermined.
Elminster sees a heart container inside Spectacle Rock and decides that the trip to pick it up is not worth the time. He's just going to head to Eastern Death Mountain.
So to get these boots, you absolutely need the mirror. So it's an interesting one. And we have Durand actually doing the walk on water glitch by exiting a cave while swimming with the Moonper, and he gets a sword out of it, which is very nice. And now he's going to walk on the water all the way to Zoha.
You know, seeing the mirror lock the boots, which lock that potentially required Ether Medallion, it's making me really nervous. Elminster finds nothing in the bottom of Paradox Cave. And what's Durand going to get for 500 rupees?
Well, that's not cheap, love.
That is some
With the
very
half-rush.
expensive love.
Yeah, exactly. Elminster found the flippers, the bow, and 300 rupees. Wow.
Money everywhere today. That's probably good for him. I bet he'll get a sword soon out of that, even if he does make the rest of the trip to Zora and not really get anything.
Yeah, so now getting a sword will be logic for Elm. As long as he doesn't die here, this head dictates can pack a punch.
Oh, and Durand knows he has Death Mountain access, but thought for a second that he had to do it by the cave. Then realized, nope, I don't have the glove. I'm supposed to get up there with Flute.
Yeah, quite an interesting thing is that the gloves could be on the mountain.
And just 20 rupees up on that summit peak of Death Mountain. Elminster's going to make his way over to Tower of Hera here. Skipping Spiral Cave for now. Hopefully he goes back for that.
Yeah, that's a play we often see hunters do, going to Hera, and then after that going back to Spiral Cave just because they don't want to climb the mountain at that time.
Yeah, and we'll have to see if Elminster can actually do anything in Hera. First item on the ground is just 20 rupees.
We have the big key, so we can do most of Hera.
Yeah, without that big key, you have to go into the basement for it, which requires the ability to light torches. Looks like one of those hard hat beetles just dropped himself in a hole, and Elminster didn't have to do anything there.
Yeah, that was weird. Just like, nope,
See something new every time.
nope, this guy has the hammer. I don't want. fight him. I may start choosing not to do the bomb jump, which is probably a wise choice with only 2 hearts.
With only 2 hearts and without the boots, there's a lot of wisdom in skipping that jump. The time price you pay for not getting it is just too high. But he is having a bit of trouble with this floor switch.
That was some nice bumper action to avoid the beetles.
And 20 rupees here. So that's both items out of Tower of Hera that he's seen. He is still running through this dungeon. Probably going to take out Moldorm quickly, just in the event this ends up being... What is it that chat goes crazy for?
I don't know. I didn't make Warrior Seed.
Something like that, it must be that. It looks like we have a raid coming in from ALTTPR Randomizer 3. Hello, everyone.
Hey guys. So I take it a race must have just finished on that side. And very quick walk off Moldorm with that hammer. Only for a map and a crystal. Nice.
Oh, this is a crystal seed.
Yeah.
Or a crystal in Hera. Well, then that makes a lot of sense.
All seeds are crystal.
If you can find me a seed that doesn't have any crystals in it, I will be confused and surprised.
Oh, I can probably make one. Doesn't mean you will be able to complete it.
It looks like Durand finished off Paradox Cave, got his flippers, and is now doing Spiral Cave before the Hera side.
Yes, and we're seeing Elminster enter Spiral Cave at the same time. And Durand getting a head boomerang.
The inferior boomerang, many would say, due to the massive distance it flies while it generates so much lag for you. Oh, interesting. Durand has decided that he doesn't want to risk doing Tower of Hera at this point. Probably not without a fire source. And he's just headed straight over to Eastern Palace, which he knows he can complete.
That's an interesting choice. And looks like he's going to... well, yeah, he doesn't have gloves anyway, so he's going to visit Sahashala first.
And over on Elminster's side, he is going to fall for the bait of going into Zora. Zora himself only going to give a heart container, but hey, there's going to be a sword in the waterfall cave.
And Durand also getting the gloves and the Master Sword from...
Speaking of swords...
Yeah. I wonder where he's floating to. Oh, that's his Dark World access. So
that is...
He's going straight over there. He doesn't even want to do Eastern.
No, I can see why.
Which is a green pendant, yeah. I can totally see why he doesn't want to do it.
I mean, there's still value in checking an Eastern Palace, but if you don't want to complete it for the non-existent crystal, you might want to put that off till you have the mirror, which Durand might be able to find in the Dark World here.
Just like we have a pendant in Pod and Skullwood, with the other 5-6 crystal in Ice, I think.
That's right. Crystal 5, the Ice Palace crystal, is in Ice Palace. On that note, amusingly, Crystal 7, the Turtle Rock crystal, is sitting in Turtle Rock today.
So we have lots of vanilla dungeon prizes.
Yeah, on top of the green pendant in Eastern Palace, that's pretty standard.
So we already have a dip in Thief Stone, which is a crystal and can be fully completed with the hammer.
Oh, another bottle.
Wow. And a blue potion at that, it's very nice. So yeah, Thief Stone is completely required for the crystal anyway, so we see Durand fully hit.
Yeah, and Elminster's headed over to Sahasrara as well.
Yep, I'm eager to see if he will make the same decision as Durand after he gets his gloves and Dark World access. Or if he will be going in Eastern to complete it with the bow.
Well, there's the other boomerang for Durand.
Nice, so now he has both the good and the better boomerang.
He sure does. And Elminster's fluting also to spot number... No, Elminster's fluted
Nope.
to 4. He's going to check on Hype Cave first.
Yep. So both decided not to dip Eastern despite having the bow, which I understand given that they don't have the lamp either, so completing Eastern is still not in logic.
Elminster doing that same check, finding out he's got 2 pendants in Pod and Skullwoods and another red crystal in Ice Palace. So Hype Cave has given varying degrees of success. Do you think it'll be Hype right now?
Given that Paradox Cave was a hype, I don't think this one will be.
Heart piece, heart container, bomb upgrade, 20 bucks. Heart piece. That's about as unhype and mundane as a cave can get.
Pretty much all the most common items were there.
It is a cave. There are items. Elminster has completed the cave. But Durand's not having much more luck with interesting things in Thieves' Town.
Just like Elminster is also going to the Dark World now. Village of Outcast area. We'll see if he decides to dip in Skullwoods or go in Thieves, like Durand.
Yeah, I can see the argument for going straight into Skullwoods when it's a pendant. Even if you don't have the Fire Rod, but Elminster is not going to do that either. We're going to be in the dark about that dungeon for a while.
And Durand only finding a compass there, so that means unless he got all the items already, I don't exactly know, but there's probably going to be an item in the big chest or on blind. Got a map there, so last item on blind.
And I'm hoping it's something good, or these runners are going to have to start making a few unpleasant decisions. I mean, yes, they could clear out Palace of Darkness if they're willing to do dark rooms, but do you want to do that when it's just a pendant and all the way across the map?
I certainly don't.
No, me neither, but at some point it becomes less terrible than a bunch of single overworld locations. We'll have to see here. Durand doing that scripted blind fight really nicely. Into phase 3 now. Taking a bunch of hits, but it doesn't matter.
And we've got a shovel.
Ooh.
That's nice. You can dig Blind's Grave with that.
And where is Blind buried?
I was told he's in a bed of flowers, so somewhere in the more in the southeast.
Okay.
And yeah, you can dig his grave, maybe find an item there. I don't know.
We'll see. It's certainly, a nasty thing to find when I think both runners are going to pass that way, but only in the Dark World, and we still haven't seen that dang mirror.
Yeah, that's what's gonna be annoying about this spot. Without the mirror, they will not be able to dig it just yet. They'll have to save and quit first.
And hey, as we've seen earlier, without the mirror, they can't get up onto Spectacle Rock to get the booths.
And what's interesting, once they finally get mirror and are able to get their boots, boots unlock locations like the bunk grave and bunk rocks and things like that. So they're probably going to want to have them just to check more locations before they're in go mode, as well as going faster.
Yeah, that's right, and heck, for all we know, that ether medallion in the library might be required for either Turtle Rock or Misery Mire.
And what a nice item Durand just dug out of the ground there.
That is about the perfect spot to find the Titansmiths. You had dropped down before, and now Durand is not going to, but he could have looped up there to pick up the smith for his tour south. He's messing with me here.
Yeah.
Alright, Stumpy not giving anything. Or anything useful.
Durand will be stopping by the Harp Cave, most probably.
Yeah, and then, if he's headed this way and didn't pick up the smith, is he going to be headed to Palace of Darkness?
Maybe.
Meanwhile, Elminster's made his way all the way through Thieves Town.
But something Durand could have done with the smith is get all the way over here with him, and he could actually exchange the smith with Kiki as flowers. Because once you meet Kiki in the maze, the blacksmith just disappears, and you get Kiki.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know he would do that. I do know that Kiki disappears if you ever leave that screen, but...
It's a nice little trick. It's a strategy we sometimes see when if you're not satisfied by what you find in Harp Cave, you just go on to Palace of Darkness with the blacksmith, and you lose him in exchange for Kiki. And he just goes back to his original spot.
I like that. Swap a frog out for a monkey. And Durand finds a full heart container sitting on the pyramid. That'll come in handy. We're up to 12 hearts already for him, even though he's still on green mail.
Okay, he's deciding not to go in pod, or maybe he just wants to walk to 5 for it. We'll see what he does in a moment. Meanwhile, Elminster finished with Leavestone in a blink. He had a very good blind fight, and this is now heading south. We'll find his myths very soon.
Yeah, and Durand's back up on the mountain, so we might see him do a Tower of Hera this time. He skipped it earlier. Or we might just see him take that Titan's Mitt and do some Dark Death Mountain stuff. I hope we see him check on that Turtle Rock portal, because I, for one, am anxious to know if it's going to be ether required to open it. And Elminster's got those Titan's mitts from the digging game. Is he going to turn north to grab that smith? Yes, he is. We're going to see a big divergence from the runners here.
Yeah, we'll probably see Elminster complete the smith side quest and the purple chest too. While Durand has chosen to do East Dark World Death Mountain. Wow.
What?
I was just about to say, and he gets a rod, I don't know which one, but then he gets both.
Ice Rod and Fire Rod sitting in Super Bunny Cave next to each other. That is definitely something I've never seen before. And boy, that gets me thinking, we must be doing Turtle Rock soon. That is Bombos to open Turtle Rock. So all we need is that Cane of Samaria.
That was like a Total Rock gear package. A Kill Trinet's gear package right there.
Trinex did not go very far to hide the two items that will absolutely destroy him. Durand's found the blue mail so far in Hookshot Cave. I'm really hoping for Samaria.
Wow, the mirror.
That is
Amazing.
fantastic timing for finding that mirror.
He'll be able to go right in Tower of Hera. And no.
Oh.
To do it. No? Yeah.
I was thinking he might mirror from where he was, but this works as well because he's going to be able to pick up the boots on his way up there.
I still think it would have been faster to just go west and mirror to get boots.
I agree, and he's not doing either of those. He's headed to Misery Mire.
We get King of Burnout, the Desert Ledge. While Elminster is already in Mire Shed. Let's see here. 50 bytes and the book. So both runners just got desert access by
two different means.
So Elminster will be entering desert now. We'll see if Durand also follows him by using his mirror.
Looks like Durand's gonna check on Checkerboard Cave there. And sorry, I missed it. Did we see a check of what was required for opening Mire?
I know we saw it, but I could not identify which medallion it was. Sounds like Chad is saying it was Ether, so they're gonna want these boots.
Yeah.
And Durand has the boots access right now.
Yeah, I thought I saw him check on that, so I'm a bit surprised he didn't beeline for those boots with Mirror. But hey, we're going to see him do Desert now, as Elminster also does Desert. And the runner's high five right here.
That Durand is doing Desert right now makes me wonder if he forgot about the boots rotation.
I have to wonder, especially because he's going to need the boots to finish this.
So Elminster just got his Skin of Burn is now going to Agina's Cave, which is one of those annoying Sphere 1 locations that are so far away.
Yeah, Flute makes this a lot more tolerable, but still not fun. Oh, Durand going there as well. He's gonna... Oh no, he checked Checkerboard already. So, with the knowledge Durand has, we're actually getting really close to go mode at this point.
Yeah, he's only missing his boots, King of Samaria, and with the boots he'll be able to get Heater. And
yeah, so really this is down to where's that red cane hiding?
Yeah, And that could be pretty much anywhere except in Turtle Rock. We're seeing Elminster doing some of these out-of-reach locations checks, like the Ice Hot Cave. But we know what he needs to do right now is going up Dark East that mountain.
Well, looks like he's not going that way at all. We're going to see a nice early Ice Palace check. Unfortunately, this is probably going to come up empty for him and be a full clear he doesn't need to do.
Yeah, and meanwhile Durand just got his boots. So he's not going to go fast. At least faster than before. And he's going to do Hera now, yes. Going to get out of this with nothing more than Crystal.
Well, a crystal and 40 rupees if he really wants it.
Well, he'd be forced to get at least 20 rupees, but he didn't get the other 20.
No, and I don't blame him at all. Looks like Durand's beetle is not going to throw itself down that pit. Durand's going to have to take it out manually.
Elminster having a perfect Starforce home there.
Nicely done there. At this point, the hope for him is that he finds those 3 items really quickly in Ice Palace so that he spends as little time as possible down here. We did see him get a bit of an early lead by going straight over to Hera, but you know, the longer he spends not doing East Death Mountain and getting that mirror, as well as the 2 rods, the more time he's going to bleed.
And Durand taking his first fall on Moldorm.
Moldorm.
Yeah, I was about to say Moldorm 1. That sounded stupid.
I mean, this is the first Moldorm in the game. Ooh, taking a second fall there. And Elminster finds the big key in Ice Palace, so that's one more immediate chest he can check on.
And Durand takes down Moldorm this time. Gets his second crystal.
Yeah, that'll tie up the crystal count, and you know, Elminster's on his way to his 3rd crystal in ice, but again, Durand having the boots and those 2 rods has a bit of an advantage. This is going to come down to where's Samaria at this point. Oh no. Oh no, it looks like Durand has miscounted his items in Tower of Hera.
No. If I'm not mistaken, he's gonna find the compass. The base.
That's... Oh no, this breaks my heart to see. He's going to be clearing this out, taking 90 seconds or so for tile room. And it's just going to be a dungeon item. I can see how that would happen, right? You walk down those first stairs, you see the 20 rupees, and you immediately walk away, but if you don't mark it on your tracker as a collected dungeon item, you end up thinking, hey, I only got 1 item from this dungeon. That's just unfortunate here.
Ah, yeah, I see. See what you're saying there. Durand is about to realize the hard truth. Pass. On Elminster's side, I saw he got on the head rupees earlier in the ice tier room.
Yeah, so that's 2 of his 3 items from Ice Palace so far. I think the first was a heart container.
Yeah, that may be.
And Durand's taking those boots back to Desert Palace, I think.
Yeah, looks like it. He could also have gotten the Ether Medallion to do it alongside Misery Mire. But all in all, it won't be a pretty big difference. And with his 5-row upgrade, I think Elminster has gotten all the items in Ice Palace, which means Gold Stair will not hold the King of Samaria, unfortunately.
Well, that'll be 3 crystals for him, but an unfortunate bit of time he's sunk into this dungeon. You know, as much as I like to say, if you can full clear a crystal dungeon, go for it. This is just one of those times where if you can, if Durand manages to find Kane before coming here, he's going to make up a ton of time. Oh, Elminster switching to the hammer for this Cold Stare fight, doing tempered sword damage with each hit. That's 2 puffs down already. Very good manipulation of that hammer hitbox. Nice work to take out all 3 puffs.
That was an excellent fight right there.
And the small key drops from Cold Stare. Now, according to the logic, that means Kane of Samaria was logically required before that Cold Stare fight. So Elminster knows it's somewhere out there, and importantly, if he knows his stuff, he knows it's not going to be at the Pyramid Ferry.
That's a nice insight right there.
Durand in the Landmo fight now, using Fire Rod strats, needs to get 2 hits off on each snake, and I think he's only 1 hit short. Very nice 2-cycle from him.
Yep, and he's also getting his 3rd crystal right now, so they're pretty close in crystal count. And we see Elminster actually going for a pod.
Ooh. This could end up being a full clear for Elminster here. We know there's nothing he can find other than Samaria.
I feel like he really wants to avoid going up Dark World at Mountain East.
Yeah, that's the impression I'm getting, and unfortunately, that's exactly where it needs to be.
And Durand getting his 2nd item in Desert right now.
Yeah, he's going to be out of there. Alright, we see him fluting back to the village. I wonder... Looks like he's headed to the Dark World, and we might then see him eventually do a library check. He's got Skull Woods available as a full clear, but that's only a pendant.
Maybe he'll go in there just to check the items. Maybe we'll get a pedestal check as well.
I mean, at this point... I'm sorry, my room's falling
okay?
apart. At this point, I think the only piece of real value on the pedestal could be the Gain of Samaria. Sorry about that noise, folks. So Elminster's picking up small keys in the Palace of Keys here.
And Durand checking the items in Skullwoods. And this is actually the first check of Skullwoods we get.
Yeah, both runners skipped it earlier, interestingly, and Durand finding only a key and a compass so far.
Now has the big key, so he's probably going to do the bomb jump over to Skullwoods' big chest.
Oh, I hate it when that jelly turns electric as you're trying to use the sword to buffer your movement there. That's no fun at all.
And the chain of it.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
Well, that's an advantage for him. Both runners now holding the separate pieces to the puzzle, and I think we just entered no mode.
Yep. This will go down to how much, to how long Durand wishes to take before checking pod.
Yeah, you know, I can see him
And how
saying...
long it will take before Elminster checks the Death Fountain again.
Yeah, I can see Durand saying, you know, pod's great, it's got 5 items, it's pod, I want to go there early. I can equally see him saying, I don't want to go to pod, it's a pendant, I can full clear Ice and Swamp, let me do that first. And Elminster gonna be doing another dark room here, finding bombs in one part of the basement and a small key on the other side.
And Durand, who has not checked Lumberjack Cave earlier, is now going to check it.
Yeah, now that he's got the boots, it's actually a location something could be in. So this is a time worth checking it to figure out if, hey, do I actually have to do Aga?
Elminster is quite low on health for doing this dark maze.
Oh, yeah. And chat brings up a good point. This is only no mode if we assume that the runners are okay doing dark rooms. Based on what Elminster's doing here, he seems completely comfortable trying them in the dark. And, you know, we saw Durand do the cave earlier. I wouldn't be surprised if he can pull the other ones out as well.
Yeah, I mean, the hardest dark rooms are in pod, so the fact that they don't have to do them to complete the game is going to make Lamp a pretty mood item. I don't think they will be getting, or at least I don't think they will be searching for Lamp.
No, certainly, you know, if it turns up, you get excited. You get happy that you don't have to do the Mire basement in the dark, but I don't think either of these runners want to let it stop them from just running to the end of this seed. Especially with the rate that some of the progression was handed out here.
Get Durand picking up the mushroom. So we're probably going to see that check pretty soon with the flute.
You know, we might see that, or just based on where he is, we might see him head straight over there, do the mushroom trade-in, and then walk up to Catfish. Or rather, dash up to Catfish.
That would be really good. And Elminster, not satisfied with what's in the big chest, is doing a death warp since he doesn't have the mirror yet.
No, he really doesn't.
Yeah, we'll see where he goes.
He's headed back into the dungeon. I think he's headed for Helmasaur. He's still going to need one more small key. But if he's been counting his keys properly, I expect he knows where he can find one. I think there's one...
He has enough.
He's already opened that center door. He's got enough keys.
So making the play to complete pod, that's going to be at times think that is not going to reward him much.
Oh, interesting. Durand skipping the mushroom check. Might be hoping to save it for a fake powder. Hopefully that's not his goal, because the only thing left for him to find is Samaria.
Catfish giving out a shield today.
Oh, and Durand's headed back up these stairs. He's going to go south and I think do his mushroom now.
Slide. Nope.
Guess not.
I think he's going to do the fake powder glitch now.
Well, he can't do the fake powder glitch. He doesn't have the cane.
Oh, that's right. Wonder where he's going then.
Well, we might see him pick up the smith, and hopefully while he's in the area, he does a mirror and activates, or rather grabs that ether from off the bookshelf. Elminster's spin attack there in the dark room seemed to work out. He is through the worst room, the turtle room, and doing that without the fire rod is always impressive.
Yeah, this is easily the worst room to do in the dark.
If you have the fire rod, it's not terrible. You light one torch and then you do it as normal, but
yeah, but then it's no longer in the dark. I was speaking in the dark.
Exactly. He's got to watch his health here. He's down to 1 heart on Helmasaur King. That's what the blue potion is for. Oh, and Elminster going for those tricky hammer strats, which halves the number of hits you need, but you really have to line them up properly. Nicely done with 4 hits in the second phase there.
And he gets the final bottle, which is another green potion.
Well, that'll, at this point, not really do much for him. I don't think he needs the safety at this point. And Durand's taking that purple chest and headed south. We are seeing him mirror here. Good.
He'll be getting his ether. The elf is on the mountain where he float away or go up. He's going up.
He is going east. As long as he's not doing Spike Cave here, which he's not, he is going to find his 2 rods and that mirror.
That's going to be a go mode very soon for him. Lampless go mode. And Durand is on his way to deliver the purple chest and doing some mirror checks the way.
That's right.
Probably see him go all the way to Bombos.
Yeah, I expect we will. So I like what Elminster's doing here. He's going up Death Mountain in the light world because he doesn't have the mirror. And he is checking on the tablet first because he doesn't have the mirror and he knows he can't get back into the light world without it.
He only gets 20 bucks for the trouble. And let's see where he's going next. Spike Cave or going back east, and he's going back east.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll probably see him warp in the dark world at the Turtle Rock warp.
Yeah, and the reason to do this is because if you go up here without Mirror and you're already in the Dark World, then you can't open Turtle Rock on this visit. He's going to be able to do that here, and of course he doesn't know this yet, but as soon as he goes into Super Bunny Cave, he's going to get both the rods he needs to beat this dungeon.
Now let's see what Bumbo's tablet holds for Durand here, and it's just another 20 bucks, so both tablets having the same item. And we also got to see a dual Bumbo's animation there.
Yeah, good timing on that. Alright, Durand's going to trade in that mushroom right now.
And Elminster choosing not to dip Turtle Rod just yet, so he's going to be really happy finding these HUDs.
Oh, and Durand is draining his potions. Looks like he realizes just how much money he has, and he's going to swap out for some blue potions. As Elminster picks up that ice rod and that fire rod. And Elminster looks pretty displeased that both rods were hiding there.
I guess, yeah. Probably he was waiting on at least Fire HUD before going there.
Yeah, funny how that works out. Fortunately for him, he's going to get a blue mail upgrade and the mirror in this cave.
And Link is now yellow. And he gets his mirror orb. I guess he's going to be very happy.
Alright, so assuming Elminster is okay with doing Dark Rooms and Master Sword Silverless Ganon, he certainly remembers where those boots are. He's headed there now. Assuming he also remembers that Ether's in the library, that's go mode for him. Over on Durand's side, he's making that play into Swamp Palace.
So now that Elminster is in go mode, do you think he should go back and do Turtle Rock now, or wait until it's his last crystal?
You know, looks like he's doing it right now, and I think that makes a lot of sense. Getting over here when you have the boots is pretty quick. More importantly, you kind of have to open every chest in Turtle Rock. There's, like, maybe you can get away with not opening something on Laser Bridge, but it's pretty guaranteed you're opening every chest trying to find small keys. So if Tempered's in here, you're going to come across it no matter what. I can see a reason to put off something like Swamp Palace and just do it in go mode.
Hey, speaking of Tempered Sword, it was
Hey!
But yeah, I agree with what you're saying on Turtle Rock. Since full clear and go mode are pretty much the same. It's a nice idea to do it right now. Or maybe he's gonna find silvers.
I mean, if he stays on Tempered Sword for the rest of this race, I have no question he can do it. It's just a question of how much longer is it going to take him, and is Durand going to get a lead back somehow? Because all Durand has to do is step into the right side of Palace of Darkness, and he'll be in go mode as well.
And Elminster already getting the big key, so there's at least one chest he won't check in Turtle Rock, the Lava Home chest.
Yeah, that chest that is probably just an exchange of a key for a key. Instead, he's welcome to steal a key from there, and then he can cut down a bit on the number of chests he has to check to finish the dungeon.
And we see here Durand going for the left side, leaving no stone unturned in his search for the Cave of Samaria.
Making careful sure not to flood the key there. You know, I was kind of joking earlier that that fourth bottle wouldn't be very useful for Elminster. And he may be fine without it. But I do look at his gear right now. This is some low percent gear. He doesn't have the powder, which is probably the most useful safety. He does not have red mail, and he's only got 13 hearts. And that's not a lot of stuff to work with when you're trying to do Master Sword Silverless. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go and pick up some potions, just in case, given how quick they are to grab.
Yeah, I totally agree. He would basically be doing the same thing as Durand did a bit earlier. Emptying all the green potions to buy blue ones.
And with all the money this seed gave them so early on, it's not like money is a scarce resource for them here.
And it looks like Elminster also skipped on the big chest. Which is a bold skip actually, because if I'm not mistaken, it could hold a key. Which is going to need to finish the dungeon.
That's right, and I think if he steals a key, and there's a key inside each of the chests he skipped, he is going to come up short.
Yeah, because he doesn't need a key to open the big chest. But there's a possibility there's absolutely no key on the laser bridge. That's what I'm afraid of right now.
Yeah, that last small key could be in the big chest. He's doing this room in the dark. Not actually as difficult as you'd think, because it's just holding the directions in anticipation.
Ouch.
But when you take that hit, that's a bad time to take that.
And now that he didn't check the big chest, since he didn't check the big chest, he has to start again from the very beginning of the dungeon.
Yeah, that's not a happy time sink, and we can see all those sword slashes. He's not pleased with that.
Yeah.
Durand did pick up a level 2 shield in the back part of Small Palace.
That's probably not something he needed, but still a nice quality of life item. And he gets the big key in the waterfall room chest.
That's not a nice place for it.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to have to dip back in Swamp just to get that big chest.
Alright, Elminster's still skipping that fire chest. He's gonna keep, or that big chest I should say, he's gonna keep pressing onto the back part of Turtle Rock.
And Argus holding the powder for us today.
Well, that'll come in handy. Both runners are guaranteed to pick that up.
Yes.
For Durand's sake, I just hope that doesn't send him on a red herring trip back to Magic Bat. That is not what he needs right now.
And I think Elminster is a bit lost. So
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. Swapping to Kane so that he can save a bit of health as he goes through. There, he's made it to the center platform with the switch. And now he's on track to get out of this dungeon.
alright, let's see if skipping the big chest was worth it. Meanwhile, the big chest of Swamp only has a hard container for Durand, so
Oh, and first chest on the laser bridge has a key for Elminster.
this man is lucky. I would not have dared to do what he did.
Oh, and Durand's headed to Ice Palace. So, you know, Elminster might have been thinking, hey, I put off East Death Mountain for too long. I wonder if I lost some time there. I just need to rush. But little does he know, Durand may have gone there first, but all that time without going to pod is really hurting Durand. And Elminster gets off the tricky item switch with the hammer for Trinex, and then he's just going to spam that Fire Rod, since Fire Rod hits do damage to the Trinex heads as well. Just maybe not as quickly as he'd hoped.
But at least he doesn't have to switch to the menu to use his hammer.
Precisely. Just 5 hits with the hammer in this last phase of Trinex. And as long as you can face down when you're making those hammer shots, they hit pretty easily. Elminster cleans that up.
So he'll now be getting his 4th crystal.
4th crystal, and assuming he's okay with doing Mire in the dark, still in go mode. Oh, Durand doesn't quite get that Stalfos room on the first try, but pulls it off on the second round.
Yeah, very nice backup there.
That's an incredible recovery. I know a lot of runners struggle if they miss the initial timing to get that room down, so Durand does very well to recover with that.
Looks like Elminster is heading to Swamp right now.
Yeah, at this point, why not just continue doing dungeons that you know you can clear, and quickly?
Yeah, he'll be fortunate enough to do Go mode Swamp, which is going to be a lot faster than Durand's full clear. And I think he will be missing on his Tempered Sword, unfortunately, but I don't think he will have much problems anyway.
No, he will get the powder at the end of that, which will definitely come in handy. Takes a lot of nerves out of your run when you know, hey, if all goes bad, at the top of GT I can still powder 2 fairies. And yep, Elm skipping that Tempered Sword.
So Durand, unfortunately, also doing the Ice Palace full clear. He's pretty much halfway done with it.
Yeah, I mean, there's one fortunate thing out of that. He's up to 16 hearts, which is an impressive number. The seed has just been throwing hearts at these runners. And so, of course, Swamp Palace, that weird dungeon where you don't need the big key to beat it. If you come in with the hook shot, you can just go straight to the back half and skip everything, which is what Elminster gets to do today.
Elminster choosing to get that waterfall home chest. It's only a big key.
I mean, if there is one chest that you check in the entirety of doing the second half of this game in Go mode, it's definitely that chest, right? It's the fastest chest you can check. It just gives him absolutely nothing for it.
Yeah, but I agree. It's one of the fastest ones to check. So if it had the Tempered Sword or the Silver Rose, that could mean a lot of time save for not much of time loss.
Exactly. So 2 boss fights going on that each runner has done already. Durand, those cold stare puffs getting away from him, but Tempered Sword still cleans them up. Hasn't taken too many hits, and that's 3 puffs down. Oh, and Elminster gets the nice Fire Rod double hit off there.
Very
2
nice.
cycles. Oh no, Durand. Durand is floated to 4.
I think he's going for the Pyramid Fairy check.
Definitely.
Like you said earlier, the Chain of Samaria cannot be in there because Cold Stare held the key.
That's right. And again, this is that Chain of Samaria is the only thing that Durand still needs, so we know he's not going to find it here. We might see vanilla silver arrows. Those would come in handy.
And we see Elminster finally picking up his Ether. He's probably going to do Mire soon, alongside Desert.
Well, first he's going to make that duck come flying at him and then dodge out of the way. Alright, so Elminster's opting to do Desert Palace first. I like this play. I think it's on the same logic as doing Turtle Rock earlier, where, you know, there's a chance Landmola will drop an item for Elminster, and if that ends up being something like another sword, he wants to have that option before doing Misery Mire.
Yeah, having Tempered Sword for Misery Mire is definitely better than having Tempered Sword for Desert.
And
Or the
you know,
silvers.
exactly, the silvers really come in handy. And again, it's not that Elminster can't do these things, it's just that they become so much faster. So chat brings up a good question. Where the heck is that lamp?
Well, it's not in GT.
Definitely not in GT.
It's definitely not on pedestal. So
Definitely not on pedestal.
keep those two out of there. And besides that, there's not many places that they both haven't checked.
You know, neither runner went into Eastern Palace, did they?
That's true. That's true. Yeah, it could.
I'm starting to think it might just be sitting in there, accessible from the start and too far out of the way.
Yeah.
Elminster having a very nice landmill fight.
That's pretty much Eastern, or maybe Spike Cave. That's pretty much all the locations that I can think of that they haven't got to collectively.
That's right, and that is, what, 6 crystals? 5 crystals for Elminster. No, 6.
Yeah, 6. He's only missing Maya right now.
Oh, and Durand doing the front half of pod first, not doing right side immediately, but looks like he's mirrored, so we can check on that right now. Scratch that. I'm not sure what Durand is routing.
He's going to do that chest on the overload there.
Oh, and Elminster getting a very nice Mire too, using that fire rod shot to shoot all the way across the room and hit a whiz robe, getting everything down in one cycle. That's what I like to see.
And Durand unfortunately only changing the G for a G. Let's see if he goes right side now, and looks like that's a no. He's going to full clear pod looking for that gain of some area, it looks like.
Yeah, he's got access to the back now, and it does have more chests, unfortunately. That's just not where Kane is. And Elminster is going to check this chest back in the big room before he goes harder into the left side. Just a small key for him, so he has now 4 small keys for this dungeon, and no big key. As he heads further to the right, he really doesn't want to risk doing that cutscene chest.
And the lamp is there. Oh,
Well,
all the way in Mire.
I mean, there's no reason it can't be there. That's just a terrible place to put it.
Pretty much every time the lamp is in Mire is a terrible place to put it.
No question about that.
And he gets the blasted shield, so that means that Durand will actually get his golden shield when he's searching for the big key in there.
Yeah, and, you know, as a casual player, you'd think, oh great, golden shield. In practice, that golden shield adds a fair amount of lag to the game, and I'm sure Elminster's glad that he won't end up with that full riot shield at the end.
And Durand finally getting his Gain of Somalia there. Now
That's
in
go
go
mode for
mode.
him.
So he's mirroring and mirroring again, and probably floating away.
And looks like he's headed straight to Misery Mire. If he has any qualms about doing dark rooms, then I expect he'll happen upon the lamp by accident and be able to do them anyways, so now that's not a concern for him. Both these runners in go mode, but Durand is essentially a Turtle Rock and most of Misery Mire behind. Tempered Sword makes up some time, but I don't think it'll be enough in this case.
And Durand, I'm playing interesting.
I have not seen
Somalia
that before.
tactics there.
I
That's actually
like
very
it.
nice. Yeah.
That is a very cool way of doing that room. Not as fast as the Fire Rod strat, but certainly it brings the swag.
So enemies are going for the NMG strats only with the Master Sword, so
It takes a lot of Master Sword spins to take out these eyes.
now going to have to be a bit careful with his health. Only 2 hearts left, and when Vitrius is angry like that, he's shouting lightnings like all the time, which is annoying.
But that will get Elminster through that, and that is 7 crystals for him. What time is that, Ninbone?
It's currently 17:30.
And is there any particular game you like to play at 17:30 in Quebec?
A bit tedious in game because it's a good time.
every day at 5:30 p.m. Interesting. You do.
Yes.
You have some strange customs over there.
Well, you know, having the world record holder of Link to the Past means we're pretty strange.
I suppose it must be a bit of a sport there.
So yeah, what are you guessing, Filion, about that big key?
I always guess that it's in Bob's chest because it has at least once been in Bob's chest. Anywhere that you like to guess?
I like the fire bar home one. Just because you need to spend the key going there. That's mean, but I like it.
Oh, that is mean. I do kind of like it now that I've thought about that. Oh, and look at those numbers just streaming through chat. Thank you, everyone, for typing numbers for us.
Yeah, they're nice numbers. We try to call out the winner of the game.
There were too many numbers. I've lost track of who guessed what.
Well, good thing you're not a tracker.
I'm not, but shoutouts to Miss Metroid for keeping that HUD updated for us throughout this race.
Yeah, thank you. Amazing work.
Alright, so Durand has made his way through Misery Mire. He did end up picking up that lamp, which I'm sure will be relief to him even if he was fine doing the dark room. There's his big key, so we can progress on through, but Elminster checking chests in GT.
So that's already 2 chests, no key for him, so he's forced to go left side for now. We have some vanilla smoky on the torch. Now let's see, we're coming to one of these big homes in GT that has 4 chests. So that's 4, 5, 6, and 7 chests.
Ooh, there's our 10 bomb upgrade that the uncle could have given us. Or not upgrade, but 10 bomb set that the uncle could have given us at the start.
Yes, this was an added item to the randomizer actually, so you won't see that item pop up in the vanilla game. It was just added for that uncle compatibility thing.
Oh, and I'm sorry, your firebar room just had 50 rupees in it.
You know, it's not too bad. So what number are we now? 7th?
That was number 8.
Okay, 8. We've got to keep track of that.
At this point, the really interesting question for me is Elminster going to come upon a tempered sword before he finds the big key?
That will certainly speed things up. That, either that or the silver arrows.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd prefer tempered sword, but he's not going to turn up his nose at silvers.
We have Durand actually fighting with his big K. And that was the 10th chest. If I'm not mistaken.
That
No,
sounds
11th.
correct.
11th, because there was another chest.
That's right, 11th chest. If you guessed chest 11, congratulations. You successfully typed 1 twice into chat, and you have won the ability to keep watching randomizer races. But everyone has that.
I think our winner... Wait, I saw it earlier. I said yet 82, which is, I think, the first one to type 11 in the chat.
Well done on that.
Sorry if I'm mistaken, I'm not a robot. And anyway, you don't get nothing for winning, so it's not like we really care about winning, but congrats.
No, we're not on speed gaming here. All right, so Elminster's through the spike room, now doing that hallway of cannonballs, and he's going to make a detour here to the ferry room.
Meanwhile, Durand is on his way to get the total rock done.
Oh, those 2 dead rocks turned purple. I thought he was going to get blocked, but fortunately, they're just high enough that he's safe to get through. Elminster takes out that last skeleton with a pot. Really an effective strategy because the pots fly so quickly. It doesn't give the skeletons much time to just move around and mess with you. This last enemy's giving him heck here.
Also, the pots do quite a bit of damage, so they're very good weapons. And if you're not familiar to ice physics, actually slashing a sword while you're skating on ice makes you go faster and makes you switch direction faster. Don't ask me why.
And why is that?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I don't know. Game's weird, man.
I don't get enough ice where I am. Is that out? Or I don't have sword in my personal collection. I have enough ice.
Yeah, that's my problem too. Ooh, Elminster just misses the 1 cycle in that second Wizrobe room, but a single block planted will take out the last Wizrobe. Dashes along nicely. And Elminster now coming on the top of the tower. I have to assume he's going to check on these chests, looking for tempered.
Unfortunately, not getting much out of these chests, but there's still 2 left in the tower that he will definitely check.
That's right, as Durand is starting on Turtle Rock, got bounced around a bit by that pokey, but he's into the chomp room now. Doesn't quite get those iframes. And a very clean Moldarm 2 fight from Elminster. 3 spins takes down that giant snake.
And just a piece of heart, just like the last chest he also checked. So no tempered, no silver rose. He's going to have to do this fight on Master Sword Silverlist, which is the most low percent version you can have.
Yeah, now in his favor, he has got 4 bottles collected, and 3 of them still have green potion in them. He's also got that half magic, which is just tons and tons of magic. Ooh, Durand has to be very careful in that Turtle Rock room. Gonna powder a fairy there.
He's probably going to exchange a key for a key now. Or a compass. So that means he will need to open the big chest.
Very probably. There could still be other small keys on the laser bridge.
I don't think so. I think there can only be one.
Oh, that's right. There can only be one down there, otherwise you would never get to there in the first place. Now, I was thinking Elminster might use the cape in this fight, but he never picked it up. That's a Durand-only item. Where did that cape come from?
I don't remember.
I'm thinking it must have been Swamp Palace. This is going to be a long fight. I think it's 12 Master Sword spins in each of the first two phases.
Well, he gets a nice location for Ganon right now.
Oh, that's fantastic. He can double up those spins at the bottom.
And he's already on second phase.
Hookshot really comes in handy for this. Still gets hit a bit there, but that's a nice dodge.
Oof, now that's beginning to sound scary. I think he's only maybe 2 or 3 hits left.
Ooh, and those fire bats, after phase 2 they don't do too much damage, but in phase 2 they will just wreck you. He's got to be really careful here. And still not finished with phase 2. It takes so many hits when your sword takes that long to charge.
And he's done. He's now on phase 3 and has some pretty nasty Ganon warps there, but eventually he stops swapping.
Yeah, that's the hard part over with. Now it's just 4 spins for phase 3 as Durand has picked up that last small key in Turtle Rock and is headed through.
Ganon just loves warping around.
Ganon. Ganon! There we go.
Alright, so now Elminster has to do how many with the spin at 12?
24 with
24,
the Master Sword
right.
spins. 12 if he was on Tempered or Gold Sword, but with that decreased Master Sword power, you know, that Blade of Evil's Bane just does not do the job you need it to do.
And he's getting some pretty nice cave spins on there.
Yeah, this is where having that half magic and those green potions really comes in handy, because he can just fire the fire rod with reckless abandon. He can just keep relighting that torch from a distance. And if he can light the torch like that just as Ganon lands, he can often get off 3 hits before the torch goes out again. Just like we saw there, very nice cycle. And if you can keep doing that successfully, it really makes this fight go by, if not quickly, at least smoothly.
So if you haven't,
Oh, go ahead.
if you haven't seen how to do a Silverless Master Sword Ganon before, that's basically how you do it.
Well, if you haven't seen it before, you're out of time to watch it now, because Elminster's just finished it up. That was a very nice fight, especially after a scary phase 2.
So that your GGs in chat for ElminsterRTA, who finished with an official SRTV time of 1 hour, 40 minutes, and 3 seconds.
Yeah, great work on his part. You know, slowed down a bit by not going to Dark Death Mountain, so he missed out on that mirror and the 2 rods, but as soon as he found those, he just ignored everything else and ran straight to the end. Something that's technical skill-wise pretty difficult, but he just pulled it off. We're going to see if we can get him in here for an interview.
Meanwhile, we have Durand in Ganon's tower, so not really far behind. And he's going to find his Ganon's tower big key in a bit in the Handahu.
Yeah, now, where did Ganon say those silvers were? Did he say they were in the Dark World somewhere?
I don't remember. Just like they were in Light World.
Light World somewhere. Ooh.
Pedestal?
Oh no, chat's saying Dark World, which makes me think like maybe Purple Chest, maybe Catfish. Oh no, we saw Catfish.
Yeah, and didn't we see Purple Chest as well?
We did.
Yeah.
Boy, that really narrows it down.
Could not have been competitive either.
No. Well, we'll see if we can bring Elminster in here.
Okay.
And he is joining us. I heard him there. Congratulations on that run.
Thank you.
GG.
So, how do you feel about Master Sword Silverless?
It's fun. I'm glad I got the chance to do it.
You're glad you got the chance to show off, is what I'm hearing.
You're putting words in my mouth, but okay.
Absolutely. No, that was a pretty clean run from you overall. Durand is running through GT now with the Tempered Sword from like the second chest in Swamp.
Okay.
He got a bit delayed in going to Palace of Darkness. You were a bit delayed in going to Dark Death Mountain. When you got there and you saw 2 rods in a mirror, did you get worried that you might be a bit behind?
No, because the only pendant dungeon that I dipped was the required one. So I still felt pretty good, but I was just like, really? Both rods are here this whole time?
Yeah, we saw your rod and bomb spam after you picked that up.
So also, I hope that you guys called Go Mode when I picked up the mirror and not when I picked up Ether.
That's right, yeah.
I think it was thrown with the caveat of assuming you remember your stuff and that you're okay doing dark rooms. But yeah, we called that Go Mode.
Okay, because there are people who think that Go Mode is the last item that you pick up outside of GT, and they're wrong. Because that was definitely a Go Mode swamp that I did.
That
Yep,
was definitely a
I
Go Mode
agree.
swamp, a Go Mode T-Rock that we saw. No question on that.
As long as you know where to go to get your items, that's Go Mode.
Yeah, I think if we had seen you checking every chest on the laser bridge, hoping that you could find Ether Medallion because you had forgotten, that might not be Go Mode, but there was no question there.
So I forgot how to do dark rooms.
Anyone in particular, or?
All of them. I had a lot of issues with the old man For
Oh,
whatever reason. I don't know
that's
why.
right. I remember seeing you peek back outside there.
But fortunately, you found the lamp just before the Dark Omen Fire.
Yeah, okay.
So was that a relief?
No. I was upset because I struggled with dark rooms that should be easy, and then the game took away my chance to do my favorite dark room.
Oh no.
That was also when I was like really sure that I was pretty sure that the big key was going to be in that chest, because I gotten a million small keys already, and I was like, okay, well, it's probably not. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was
see
gonna be
what
left
you're
side.
going.
But as for like Master Sword Silverless, I was pretty sure like I had missed out on so many locations that I really didn't think I was gonna find anything. I figured there'd probably be gonna be a sword in Eastern.
Yeah, actually, for a while we thought that lamp was going to show up in Eastern because neither of you ever stepped foot into there.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, with the seed that you got here, why would you?
Well, like, it was sort of tempting to visit Eastern early-ish because of when we got the bow. There's always at least one other good option, though. But I could totally see, either one of us having gone to Eastern at some point. I'm just a little bit fortunate that I chose Pod over Eastern.
Yeah, but how was the play to make there? That was a very good Silverless Master Sword Ganon fight you showed us there.
Thank you.
I was impressed
Only I
by
could-
those tape spins.
If only I could get that during an actual low percent run.
Oh, Durand's just finished up Vega 2. That was a 3 or 4 cycle fight there.
But yeah, thanks guys for commentating. Thank you, Sinek, for restreaming. This was a pretty fun seed, I think.
Yeah, well, we definitely got to see a couple Go Mode dungeons, which is always tons of fun. Thanks to you for, hey, putting on that show so we had something to talk about.
Yeah, anytime.
Oh, and Durand getting some nice spins off here. I don't know if he got, or he clearly didn't get the 1 cycle in phase 1, but he's into phase 2 now. And a 145 collection rate for Elminster.
That's a nice collection right there. Durand now on phase 3.
Phase 3 with all the warps today.
That was nerve-wracking for me with Master Sword.
Oh yeah, I understand what you mean, especially having to save that spin.
Yeah, like if you release that spin, and it wasn't, it's another warp, and you're not ready for the next one, and he spits out a spiral bat and it hits you and you fall off. That's not a good feeling.
No, that's exactly where you don't want to be. Durand reminding us that arrows were in the Dark World somewhere, and gosh, I can't even think where they would be at this point.
Oh well, I would just say either Spike Cave or Mimic Cave. I think that those are pretty much the only locations we haven't seen.
Well, it must be Spike Cave then. Mimic Cave counts as Dark World or Light World.
Did he check the purple chest?
He did, yes.
He did.
Yeah, he made the fairly early play up to Death Mountain, so he was able to do that south route with the mirror in tow. Even got to loop in Stumpy with the shovel check there.
So what was his go mode item? I'm curious.
For Durand, that was the Canis Samaria. So part of the time difference in this race came from he ended up full clearing Swamp Palace and doing a bunch of overworld checks before finally dipping into Pod. Whereas you dipped into Pod, cleared it out, and had the cane very early.
And now Ganon is down for Durand as well, finishing with an official speed racing.tv time of 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 44 seconds. But GG's to Durand. We're now seeing if he's willing to join us in an interview.
We shall see.
So now, Elminster, you're going 2-0. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, we'll see who I end up facing next round, I guess. It's hard to say in Swiss, but I'm hoping I can win another couple of rounds before I have to face somebody that is like really, really difficult for me to beat. And then, like, by that time, I should probably be good for brackets. Because my goal is to place better than I did in the fall tournament, and if I can make it past 2 rounds of the bracket, I'm good for that.
That's a good benchmark to have set. We're going to bring Durand in here. And here's Durand, who has finished this race. GG.
GG.
Thanks.
Any initial thoughts about this and what you ended up doing for a route through it?
So overall, the seed didn't seem so bad. Like, everything was open. So it wasn't like it was a one-off thing, except Canis Amaria. But it always feels like there's one item that happens to be in Pod. But overall, I'm happy with that race, happy with the time. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, a 150 is nothing to shake a stick at for finishing that race, especially with the amount of overworld you ended up clearing, as well as the full clear on both Swamp and Ice. Lamp came up in a bit of a weird place, coming at the end of Misery and Mire there. Had you not found it, were you confident that you could pull off that dark room?
I was, but only because I took that moment to just fill every bottle I had with blue potions. Like, the dark room in Misery Mire, I always get hit by that spike and all that, but I can get through it. I know that, but I need health.
Yeah, that was some clever preparation you did then to go and shell out for some extra potions as safety. Of course, it didn't end up mattering at all. How about the Turtle Rock room? Were you comfortable doing that if it came down to it?
Yeah, Turtle Rock Dark Room, that's pretty easy to me. Like, that's not so bad.
I died in that room.
I mean, I got shot by an arrow trying to check hobo at the beginning. Oh, really?
Wait,
yeah,
like
that one
while
hurt.
fake flippering?
Durand?
Yes.
That was while you were in fake flippers, right?
Yeah, it was. So, just instant death. I still went back because, yeah, it still seemed like it was close enough.
That sucks. Like
Yeah.
that that death is always something that I'm really scared of when I'm doing fake flippers.
It's like there are three obstacles. The first Zora shooting at you, the arrow, and then the one last Zora who sometimes can snipe you right before you get in the waterfall.
I usually like I specifically wait off to the side to bait that fireball because like sometimes I get stuck trying to get in the waterfall. So I really don't take any chances with that. But the arrow is like usually if you're fast enough you will beat it.
Yeah, I got stuck on one of the rocks. By the way, did you find silvers?
I did not.
Yeah, me neither.
We are thinking it was probably in Spike Cave, given that you both pretty much checked all the Dark World locations collectively.
So, Durand, if I understand right, you just picked up this game in January, is that correct?
Yes, I started in January, but I've been watching since the 2017 tournament.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been watching a lot, but it's only recently I picked it up.
Yeah, for only 3 months of play, I was going to say that's some impressive knowledge that you've come out with already, picking up the game maybe quicker than a number of other players. So good work on that. And on that note, please keep playing because I want to see how you keep improving with that.
Thanks. It's always fun. Like I feel like there's always something I learn every single seed.
I actually I watched you do like the very end of a siege last night, I think. I saw you do Master Sword Ganon, and it was pretty good.
Thanks. Yeah, I saw you were there. That went pretty well, I think. Yeah, that was actually a PB. That was sub 145.
Oh, nice work there.
Right. Congrats.
Thanks.
I think we'll start wrapping things up here. If you want more Link to the Past Randomizer, there is a match starting literally right now on Speed Gaming 4 between Miria Chan and Mal. There's also a match later tonight at 8:30 on Speed Gaming 5, and we're back here at 9 p.m. for one last match this week on this channel. Of course, Sunday's always lighter on matches because it's the last day of the tournament week, and those new pairings are going to go up overnight tonight. And then we're going to turn this whole thing around and do 250 more matches next week. Any final thoughts from either of the runners on this race?
Cold Stare was nice to me.
That was a very nice cold stare fight. Hammer strats are not something I usually see, but they're always fun.
Yeah, I don't know. This like wasn't a terrible seed, so I'm happy.
And Durand, any final words?
Yeah, I agree. It was very forgiving. I think when I got in there, I was lucky enough to have tempered though, so Cold Stare wasn't too bad. But yeah, it was a good seed. Not too trolly.
No, this certainly wasn't. Well, I think we'll wrap things up here then. I want to give a thanks again to Miss Metroid for tracking this, and a big thanks to Synac for stepping up to restream this so that we could broadcast all of this to you. And hey, thanks again to the runners for doing this race and showcasing what they had. Thanks to Ninbad for joining me. I've been Philion, and I will give the last word to him.
Well, thanks, Philion, for joining me as well, and thanks to everyone else you mentioned. Play more Hando.